Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel, and I'm your host for LD Productions. And you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Braxtons. This is season 2, episode 6. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video in support of me. You can also subscribe and leave your comments below. Now let's get into this week's episode. Now, before I begin, I want you all to please stay tuned to tomorrow. I will be reviewing the season finale of Bell Collective, and I'm also bringing you a new show. So this is a new show alert called All Her Fault. It's currently streaming on Peacock. So you might as well get into it, or I can put you on to it, whatever it is. And then also I will be reviewing Beyond the Gates. I do my weekly review. You will get that either Saturday or Sunday. Now that that's out the way, the Braxtons, I think that this episode was so much better, even the last episode. I think that from a viewer perspective, our emotions were still high from what happened in episode 4. And that showdown and the fallout, it was just like, it was a little bit dull and not much accountability was happening. I don't think that it was all on Tamar, and y'all know I don't really get with it with Tamar. And I'm telling you, you could have called me a Tamartian back in the day, but I was done with the foolishness and just, for me, wised up on what I was willing to receive from her and still try to support her. Anyways, we can start with Trina and Tony. They are in some decor place, trying to find out what to put in Faison Love's, he's an actor, comedian actor, house, as Trina would say. So they're looking around, Trina tells Tony about Vaughn's condition. And she said that from what she got from Vaughn is that a lot of reasons why he's kind of scared is because this is the same thing that took his mother on out of here, which was congestive heart failure. And she's doing whatever she can to be strong and all that. A lot of times he's grumpy. I'm sure that he is giving her hell. But she's like, look, I believe that it's coming from fear, and I don't think that this is a place that he's just trying to be mean. Lord, all I can say is that if he gets down and out, I can imagine Vaughn being quite terrible, unfortunately. Oof. What is it? In sickness and in health, those vows say? Oof. Yeah, that sickness part can try a lot of people. But anyways, she tells him about that. Does Tony say anything? Tony thinks that she's a realtor. Trina said that she got into it because of the past with Tony, and I didn't really understand it, but anyway, not that it was something that they were saying confusing. I didn't grasp what they were saying in regards to what Tony would do as far as with being a realtor. So Tony thinks that she's a realtor, a decorator, and also the best cook, or at least a good cook, whatever. And then at the end, it was like Tony was offering herself to be a decorator for something. I don't know what that was for. Was it for Trina, or was it for Faison Love's home? I don't know. The next scene we see with Tawanda and Sean, they are doing this exercise of just battling each other with those electric helicopters and all that. Cool. Sean brings up, or somebody brings up, in regards to getting a date for Miss E for the wedding. They call Miss E, and she's elated. Of course, Tawanda was worried because of how picky that Miss E could be. And we know that Miss E could be picky. She'll find anything. I would say, probably later in life, there isn't much that you're willing to tolerate, especially when it's like, look, I did the goal that y'all wanted me to do in life. Society says you got to get married, have a bunch of children, and good. No, my first marriage didn't work out, but hey, if it happens again, it happens again. And it's just like, look, I'm in my 70s and 80s, and I got a few good years left. Don't come and disturb whatever left I got. So, yeah, if you come in, come on. But if not, go someplace else. But she was elated. Sean and Tawanda set up this meeting because Miss E did say, and maybe we should, meet up and talk beforehand, or did they suggest that? I forgot who suggested it. Anyway, they go out to dinner, Mr. Larry. Sean, he goes bike riding with this guy a lot, and that's how he knows him. So anyways, they get there. production kind of gets on my nerves on the show because they show a lot of previews of stuff that you think is going to happen in the episode, but it don't happen. So I'm like, what? Because there was a part where Sean is talking with Mr. Larry about something, about his New York accent, and then that don't even show up in the scene. Sean and Tawanda make excuses to excuse themselves from the table so that Evelyn and also Mr. Larry could have time to talk. Miss Evelyn more led the conversation in regards to just to get to know him a little bit. Mr. Larry was not invited to the wedding. So y'all was about to set him up. Y'all was about to set them up to have a date and all that. But anyways, Miss E just took this step forward and just said, hey, would you like to be my escort for the wedding? And he said, yes, and I would be delighted. I think that's cool. He seems very old school, not so much in his approach leading the way, but in his mannerisms and my lady. Not that far as what is it called? Bridgerton, but just kind of madam, ma'am, all that good stuff. And I like that type. I like that type of corresponding with each other. So it looks like Evelyn's going to be okay. And we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully nobody pushes them to do anything. Just let them enjoy life, you know. What else? Oh, then we have a scene with Trina and Vaughn. In a way, it's interesting to see how production is so involved and how we see what the scene is going to be set up as. I probably will ask Mr. Carlos King, because now he's got this Patreon where you can kind of ask different questions. Just how he feels about the regimen of kind of always breaking the fourth wall. There really is no wall anymore. No, let me not do that. I won't do that. I was gonna say something else, but no, let's just keep it holy and pure over here today. But I wonder how he feels about, you can see them setting up cameras and da-da-da-da-da, because there's a scene later on where Trina was like, so you want me to sit here and have a conversation like that? Like, possibly they are letting us in at what it really takes to even produce a reality show. It's just not like pick up a camera and let's just start talking. There are some technical things you have to do that's going to be pleasurable for the viewing audience. And I think we just gotta accept it as that. Not so much as that they are scripted and all that good stuff. So anyways, Vaughn and Trina have their scene. They're now choosing healthier things to put on their TikTok and their YouTube channel. From what I saw from different reviews from others and what they know how Trina and Vaughn used to eat, it was quite unhealthy. So now that they're choosing different things to actually showcase as far as what they're actually eating now. Trina has a discussion because there was a doctor's visit that at that time Vaughn excused her from, because he wanted to ask a question. And he said, well, I'm entitled to my privacy. No. You need to let folks know. Woo. Do I understand people are individuals? Okay. All right. So, oh. Okay, so we're back. With Vaughn, no. Some things you just can't play with, especially you having all of these emergency scares and y'all are just, it's too selfish. And I think that y'all need to just put people on game on what you got going on. That's all I gotta say. I may not have used the right terminology, but look, same thing. Stop this crap. So he ended up saying, like, you really want to know what I said? And she said, yes. He asked the doctor, am I going to DIE? Like it was so shattering. So basically, Vaughn, you chose to now be vulnerable with your doctor. You're letting her know right now that he's scared and all that. She's like, of course I need to know this, da-da-da-da-da. She's going to be there. She's like, that's my responsibility. As far as with marriage vows, I believe that that's it. I've never been married, never took the vows, and all that good stuff. But you are supposed to be there through sickness and in health. Are you responsible for your own health? Yes. But you do have a helpmate. There's no sense in you trying to operate alone, especially with something that's liable to take you up on out of here prematurely. But the doctor just said, well, if you don't take care of your health and all that, yes, you can. So it's up to you. Life or death. That's it. Tony, we see her with her oldest son, Denham. They are getting different, they're trying to find the right outfits to wear for Tawanda's wedding. Also, he's graduating from a fashion, he's getting his MBA, I think it was, or something like that, in fashion. So we see the graduation and all that good stuff, and Tony ended up surprising him for a gift, as a graduation gift, as a Hyatt or Hachi. I don't know that car. I never heard of that car before. Look, if it's not a Rolls Royce, I don't really know what y'all talking about. No, I know other different cars, but whatever. And no, I don't have one, but that's one of my dream cars to have. I have another one, and I'll mention it another time. But anyways, she surprises him with that, and he's really surprised. All that good stuff. And they're soon going to be flying to Atlanta to attend Tawanda's wedding. There was a scene at the beginning of the episode where Tamar said that I guess she's willing to give it another try, but I can't show it by myself as far as with her sisters. And then the only thing that still pisses me off is that they're playing scenes that are not even in the episode. If there was something like you tell me behind the scenes, this is what's going on, I would be a little bit more accepting as to how that they choose to air out the episode. But it's just like, okay, I thought we were going to get a scene with Tamar. It looked like Tamar's speaking with a therapist or something, but maybe that's next week that we'll see it. Who knows? And basically the ending scene is, oh no, there's another scene where Trina and some of the ladies of honor are at the nail shop, and then Tawanda comes in and she fakes it out thinking that she still has a cast on, but then she lets them know that she can now get out of her cast. She moves her arm some. However, she still has to wear the little wraparound thing on her arm brace. However, she's not going to wear it during the wedding, but she'll have to put it on during the reception. I think they're going to bedazzle it. I don't know, or whatever. But anyways, we go on to wedding rehearsal. And it was a light time. Cool. That was the end of the episode. Again, I enjoyed this episode a whole lot better than I have some of the previous ones. So, at least the last one, I'm down for drama and all that good stuff. I think it was just so intense leading up to it because how production kept. I think overkilling, like, look, you caught us for real during that little teaser months ago. Like, oh, we're seated. We got to find out what's happening and all that. Y'all did way too much to me in trying to convince us of this and that, Anyways, that's all I do have. I appreciate everyone for coming. Leave your comments and thoughts of what you thought of this episode. It felt very, if this is the direction the Braxtons want to go in, I'm down with it. If it's just the fighting, then no. Let's have a mixture here. And if it's fighting, let it not be so, I'm done. You know what I mean? Let me know that. Again, stay tuned. Bell Collective season finale tomorrow. Also, All Her Fault. Catch it on Peacock so we can discuss it. And also, Beyond the Gates, my weekly review. And then we start the week all over again. Again, I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.